He slipped in through the back doors while the second hymn was sung, smelling like the highway and the places he'd begun. His jacket torn and dirty, his eyes fixed on the floor. He sat behind the pillars, hoping not to crowd the door. The congregation stumbled on a verse they didn't know. The melody was drifting and the rhythm started slow. There is a place for every voice in the harmony of grace, from the saint who never wandered to the man who hides his face. When the melody is broken and the chords are wearing thin, the Father takes the heavy heart and brings the bass line in. Then from the back of the building, a low-down rumble grew, a deep and steady bass line that the old-timers knew. It anchored all the sopranos, it brought the altos in, like an upright bass arriving to defeat the house of sin. The stranger didn't look up, but his chest began to heave, as 30 years of running found a reason to believe. There is a place for every voice in the harmony of grace, from the saint who never wandered to the man who hides his face. When the melody is broken and the chords are wearing thin, the Father takes the heavy heart and brings the bass line in. The pastor didn't ask him where he'd spent his missing years. He just handed him a hymnal through a valley of sweet tears. For that deep voice belonged to one who'd left the fold so young. The preacher's long lost runaway had finally found his tongue. There is a place for every voice in the harmony of grace, from the saint who never wandered to the man who hides his face. When the melody is broken and the chords are wearing thin, the Father takes the heavy heart and brings the bass line in. The prodigal is singing in his Father's house once more. The Cumberland was rising, it had broken through the bank. The valley homes were drowning as the muddy water sank. The town took refuge in the church that sat upon the hill, the highest ground for miles around, while the night grew dark and chill. From the windows they could hear the trees snapping in the dark, a roaring lion of a flood that left a bitter mark. The river is a mighty thing. It takes what it can hold. It washes out the cornfields and it steals the earthly gold. But it cannot touch the anchor line that fastens to the throne. We are singing in the storm tonight, and we are not alone. Fear was spreading like the dampness creeping through the floor, until an old choir director stood up by the door. He didn't have his baton and he didn't have his sheet, but he struck a tuning fork against the bench beneath his feet, and he started singing Rock of Ages cleft for me, to drown the sound of rushing dark and crashing of the tree. The river is a mighty thing. It takes what it can hold. It washes out the cornfields and it steals the earthly gold. But it cannot touch the anchor line that fastens to the throne. We are singing in the storm tonight, and we are not alone. Joined in then, a wall of sacred sound. It pushed against the window panes, it shook the muddy ground. The music played loud and fierce against the rising tide, a cinematic battle between the fear and faith inside. And hour by hour the water rose until it touched the step, but that was where the river stopped, and that was where it slept. The river is a mighty thing. It takes what it can hold. It washes out the cornfields and it steals the earthly gold. But it cannot touch the anchor line that fastens to the throne. We are singing in the storm tonight, and we are not alone. When the morning sun broke through the gray, the church was dry and standing. It was the hymn that kept the river back. Sunday service started and the folks were feeling tired. The heat was high, the clock was ticking, no one felt inspired. We sang the opening hymn because it's what we always do. We sailed right through the first verse and we finished up verse 2. But when it came to verse 3, the music lost its way. The congregation grew real quiet with nothing left to say. the words her mother taught her just to make her spirit whole. Her tiny voice was fearless as it filled the dusty space, reminding all the grown-ups of the wonders of His grace. And that little child started singing all alone, clear and sweet as water pouring over mountain stone. Just a simple melody that made the heavy spirits rise and brought the tears of gladness to the older people's eyes. One by one the deacons joined, and then the back row stood. A wave of holy music started sweeping through the wood. We sang that missing verse until the rafters started shaking. An old-fashioned revival in the ordinary making. It didn't take a preacher, and it didn't take a sign, just the pure heart of a child to bring us back in line. When that little child started singing all alone, clear and sweet as water pouring over mountain stone. Just a simple melody that made the heavy spirits rise and brought the tears of gladness to the older people's eyes. Clear and sweet as water, led by a little child. The snow was drifting 4 feet deep along the county line. The power lines were snapping under heavy ice and pine. The preacher figured no one would attempt the Wednesday night. He sat alone inside the church by a single lantern's light. Then the heavy door creaked open and the freezing wind blew wide, and old Miss Sarah stumbled through, a frozen ghost inside. It takes a cold, hard winter to show how warm the fire burns. It takes a long and lonely road before the wonder turns. The hymns of the revival aren't just for sunny days. They are the lanterns in the blizzard when the soul has lost its way. Her wool shawl white with winter, her fingers stiff and blue. She'd walk 3 miles of gravel road because she said she knew a boy across the valley was in trouble deep and dark, and she'd promised God she'd pray for him before the morning lark. She didn't ask for blankets, she didn't ask for tea. She just knelt down on her shaking knees and said, "Sing along with me." It takes a cold, hard winter to show how warm the fire burns. It takes a long and lonely road before the wanderer turns. The hymns of the revival aren't just for sunny days. They are the lanterns in the blizzard when the soul has lost its way. sang leaning on the arms, just two voices strong, while the tempest roared outside the glass, trying to drown the song. But 40 miles away that night, inside a prison cell, that wayward boy collapsed and cried as a heavy burden fell. It takes a cold, hard winter to show how warm the fire burns. It takes a long and lonely road before the wanderer turns. The hymns of the revival aren't just for sunny days. They are the lanterns in the blizzard when the soul has lost its way. She walked 3 miles in the freezing wind, and the sun began to rise. Bound in leather, split by years, sweat and tears, lies a ledger on the rail, conquering 40 years of fears. Names written down in fading blue and iron gall ink, men who stood at the edge, brought back from the brink. A grandson flipped the pages with a cynical modern hand, looking for a legacy he didn't think he'd understand. Oh, write it in the logbook, tell the generation coming on how the midnight turned to morning and the heavy weight was gone. These ain't just names on paper, they are boundaries in the sand. Every scratch of ink's a witness to the Savior's healing hand. He found the date, October 1974, beside his grandfather's name, a note: I cannot fight no more. The old man had been broken by the bottle and the shame, but right beneath that heavy ink, a different hand had signed her name. The Lord met him at the altar while the choir sang God's grace, and he never touched the drop again nor looked back from this place. So write it in the logbook, tell the generation coming on how the midnight turned to morning and the heavy weight was gone. These ain't just names on paper, they are boundaries in the sand. Every scratch of ink's a witness to the Savior's healing hand. Grandson dropped his head onto that polished oak and cried. The skepticism melted from the places it had died. The acoustic drive picks up its pace. The voices start to soar as a modern man finds a mercy where his elders did before. He took a borrowed pen and wrote beneath his family tree, June 25th, the same revival fire caught up to me. Oh, write it in the logbook, tell the generation coming on how the midnight turned to morning and the heavy weight was gone. These ain't just names on paper, they are boundaries in the sand. Every scratch of ink's a witness to the sage.